Hey, how's it hanging, everyone? MMA Rituals reporting in, and today I'll be hitting you with my recap of Dana White's Contender Series, Season 9, Week 10. This was the final card of this season's Contender Series, and it was a remarkable season. Unbelievable fights, legendary finishes, some truly memorable prospects who are going to go on to do great things in the UFC. But before we talk about any of them, let's talk about all of the fights on this card. So, starting this card off, we had Wes Schultz submit Mario Mingaj. This was terrible. I came on here and said Wes Schultz was garbage, which he is, and that Mario would destroy him on the feet. He could submit him. He'd take him down. He'd do whatever he wanted here. My read was wrong. Mario got dropped by a left hook, taken down. Well, he didn't even get taken down. I mean, Wes just jumped on him. Mario got dropped by a hook. Wes Schultz just did whatever he wanted on the ground after that. I mean, he had the guy's back. He kind of gave Mario his back for a minute. The finishing sequence was a Suloev stretch, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, this was just two BJJ nerds, and I thought Mario was better everywhere. Wes Schultz looked dreadful in his last fight. He looked like he didn't know how to fight. It was frankly embarrassing, but I mean, maybe he's improved. Maybe he got better. Mario's not so super anymore. Moving on. Jovan Leka, decision to Azamat Nuftalayev. Now this was terrible too. This was an awful fight. This was one of the worst fights I've ever seen. I mean, Azamat Nuftalayev came out, and round one was just him leaning against Jovan Leka on the cage. That's all it was. He gassed himself out from doing that. I'm not kidding. Look at this guy between rounds 1 and 2. He's sitting on the floor, and his coaches are telling him the same thing over and over again. Stop making it look like you're tired. Don't let him see that you're tired. Don't let him know that you're tired. His coaches knew he was exhausted and had nothing left. I don't understand how you gas yourself out from failing a couple takedowns and then leaning on a guy. I mean, Nuftalayev was gasping for air. He looked like a fish out of water. It was awful. And then Jovan Leka in the second round basically does what Nuftalayev did to him in the first, except he actually got the takedowns instead of just leaning on him. He got the takedowns, pretty much did what he wanted on the ground, landed little pitter-pat shots, nothing crazy. I think he had a rear naked choke at one point that Nuftalayev escaped. Third round was on the feet, but listen, this fight was just dreadful. I mean, skip this. Jovan Leka didn't get signed. I never want to see either one of these guys fight again. Let's just move on. Michael Oliveira knocked out Victor Valenzuela. So, Oliveira looked fine. Valenzuela was doing really well in the first round, I have to say. Now, Oliveira wins the first round because he cut Valenzuela's nose. But Valenzuela landed the biggest, cleanest shots of the round. Halfway through the round, lands a huge shot that sends Oliveira stumbling backwards. And then right at the end of the round, he lands another shot that looks like it just stuns Oliveira for a moment. But Oliveira, he gets, 2-3 knockdowns in the second round, turns Victor Valenzuela's face into a pumpkin pie, a butternut squash, a Sunday roast. I mean, his face looked horrific. It was a crime scene. It was like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. Anyway, Michael Oliveira gets the KO. It was pretty brutal, but he didn't look that good to me. I mean, his striking was fine. He's a pumper. He's a jab pumper. This guy, I'd be interested to look at his statistics. That's the word I was looking for. My bad. I'm interested in looking at his statistics because this guy, I feel like his strike accuracy must be 5%. He's pumping at least 100 jabs around. constantly pumping out the jab. It's not always moving. Sometimes it's just like a feeler, just figuring out the range, just like, tapping the face. Sometimes it's not even making it there. Sometimes it's just a hand fight. But it was every second it felt like he was pumping it out there. I'm not too impressed by him. I mean, he looked massive over Valenzuela. But he got the knockout, and that's what he needed to do to get signed, and he got signed, so we're going to see him in the UFC. Maybe I'm wrong about him. Anyway, let's move on to the good fights. The good fights on this card. Here we go. We got 2 back-to-back that were incredible. Marwan Rahiki knocks out Ananias Mulumba in the second round. This fight was incredible. Incredible. Now, Rahiki, I have to say, so close to getting fraud checked. So close. It's astonishing that he survived the first round. 20 seconds in, gets hit by the biggest right overhand you will ever see in your entire life. Both times that Rahiki got dropped, he got dropped doing the exact same thing. It was a step-in switch knee. Did it pretty much with his hands down. Both times Mulumba saw it, pitched to the right overhand, landed clean on the chin checked him, spun his head around, full 180, sent him crashing down to the floor both times. Same exact sequence. Hurt him both times. Marwan Rahiki, now, he kept going for those knees. It seemed like in the first 4 minutes of round 1, Marwan wanted 3 things. He wanted a spinning back kick to the body, he wanted that step-in knee, and he wanted big hooks in close. That was kind of it. He was landing like maybe a teep here, a leg kick there. He went for a spinning elbow, I think, around the 4-minute mark that landed flush, but it seemed like he really only had those 3 things. Then once he got dropped the second time and rocked bad, that's what I feel like sort of switched him into second gear and allowed him to sort of figure things out a little bit better and not be so stubborn in the way that he's going for his strikes. Because in the second round, I mean, now Mulumba did gas, of course. He was really out of it. I mean, he had nothing, pretty much. But Rahiki was mixing up his targets, kicking to the body, punching to the body, hooks to the head, elbows. He was going for more teeps, more low kicks, head kicks. He was faking question mark kicks. He was really mixing it up in that second round and looked amazing. Now, the finishing sequence was brutal. The finishing sequence was incredible. Knee to the body, 2 right elbows just in sequence, one after another. Then rear uppercut, lead hook, out cold. The uppercut was what did it. Out cold, slumps Mulumba. Horrific knockout, incredible fight. The first round was so much fun to watch. Please watch this fight. If you're watching this and you haven't seen these fights, if you're just interested in hearing what happened, if there's any takeaway from this card, it's watch this fight. I don't think Rahiki has this unbelievable UFC career ahead of him if he's having wars like this with fighters at Mulumba's level, but I cannot wait to see his next fight. After this, I mean, how can you not be excited to see this guy fight? Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they signed him. He deserves it. So, moving on here, Juan Diaz knocks out Kwanwan Il. Sleeps Pretty Boy with a spinning back elbow. I mean, you can't escape them this year. You can't escape them. Now, I put Mini Lopez here, not because Lopez landed that spinning back elbow on Jean Silva, but because I feel like Juan Diaz kind of looks like Lopez. But Listen, the spinning back elbow thing this year is just ridiculous. First, it was Carlos Prates with Jeff Neal. That one was brutal. Then, even more brutal, the next fight on that card, Lerone Murphy against Aaron Pico. Horrific, violent, vicious, merciless. Then, Sergio Pettis sleeping Magomedov with it. Landing that super necessary follow-up shot. Oh my gosh. And then this one too. This was probably the loudest one. This one was so brutal, man. It happened with like 3 seconds left in round 2 also. It was just, oh. Now my read on this fight was incorrect. If you go back and you watch what I predicted for these fights, my read on this fight in particular was wrong, because I thought that Pretty Boy would have the striking advantage and Diaz would need to grapple to win. Now, in round 1, Diaz floors Pretty Boy. Huge knockdown. Vicious. The rest of the round, back and forth striking exchanges. Diaz is winning most of them. Then at the very end of the round, Diaz shoots a takedown. That's when it started to look like more of what I expected. Then at the start of round 2, the first 2 minutes pretty much of round 2, Diaz is just going for takedowns, nothing else. Last 3 minutes of that round, they're striking. It's still back and forth. Diaz looks maybe like he's slowing down a bit, but Pretty Boy is wearing all of the damage. He's pretty much got a mask of blood on his face. Horrific. And then with 3 seconds to go, spinning elbow sleeps him out cold. It was horrific. I loved watching it. I feel bad for Pretty Boy, but I feel better for Juan Diaz, man. I can't wait to see him. I cannot wait to see him in the UFC. Now, let's move on to this final fight. Yeah, I was happy about this one. Freddy Fazbear-Vidal gets knocked out. Wasn't the most satisfying knockout. It was just kind of a TKO on the ground, but not a lot to say about this fight, to be honest. Vidal was just looking for the takedown. Rodriguez defended a couple of them, landed some elbows, knocked Freddy down to his knees twice. The second time was his undoing. Gets finished on the ground by TKO. That's really all I have to say about that one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Now, on this card, I went 4-2, which isn't too bad. Not the greatest or anything, no sweep, but it was fine. Now, I'm thinking about doing a video like top 10 best prospects from Contender Series Season 9. If you guys are interested in something like that, please comment down below. Maybe give me some ideas, leave some of your favorite prospects from the season. I'll be sure to cover a lot of bases in that video, but don't want to be forgetting anybody. So, if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good YouTube stuff. Whoa, voice crack, sorry. And, yeah, thank you.